Good morning. My name is Ray Whitaker. I am coming to you from Colorado Springs, the state of Colorado in the USA. Good morning. I am Ray Whitaker. I am coming to you from Colorado Springs, Colorado, the United States of America. And I have for you this morning some poetry that I think I'm honored to be able to present through Prasanna Kumar's Fertile Brains platform. I'm so pleased to be here today. We were supposed to answer a couple of questions before we begin, and the first one is, why do I write poetry? And it's a short and sweet answer. It is, I write poetry to better the world. And the second one is, what are my poetic influences? And I have several poetic influences from all over the world. Thomas Transtormer, a Swede, N. Scott Momaday, who is a Native American, a Kiowa, Billy Collins, who was a poet laureate of the United States, Emmylou. There are several. And so I'm going to begin with a piece that was published by the Galway Review in Ireland in January of this year. It's called In a Promised Land. The canyon gorge divides the earth, the people of the northern tribes from the people of the southern lives. In this evening, warmth prevails with a gentle wind rising. The clouds float white, puffy, calmly above a riotous red and cream dichotomy of dark canyon walls. A man stands on the southern cliff face. He plays a rich tenor saxophone. The solid middle register resounds in the chasm. Many swallows fly, swooping to his jazz triplet phrases and dotted 16th notes. The clouds above the Black Canyon have nowhere to go, yet they float off anyway towards a nirvana no one knows. A woman stands on the opposite northern precipice edge. She sings an ancient ballad reminiscent of an old Irish tune. In a fine alto voice, clear and strong notes fill the air. A falcon flies near and appears to hover nearby on an updraft, banking on the steady phrasing to the right, to the left. There are mountaintops off in the distance, over yonder wilderness, miles and miles of them. The music is about the joy of loving. The key modulates. Both musicians follow each other effortlessly. Below, the light of the Black Canyon deepens in sunset. The music continues, now meshed in a unique harmony. Evening clouds are pink and ivory. Listening to the harmony rising, the air is full of a peace, promising the freedom to believe. Thank you. My next piece is not my typical. It's short, but it was published in a chapbook back in 2017, and it's called No Chance of Rain. It was a warm, sunny day with two grandsons in tow, making me wonder if I had been a good son when I was little. Sunshine illuminates everything. Thank you. This next piece was was presented to as my entry to the 2024 Panorama International Writers Festival. These were writers from all over the world. It happened in January, the entire month of January. And I was very pleased to see that my poem had been put on as, if not the first, the second second one presentation. All of this was recorded on YouTube, and my video of my poem got over 140 likes. And so I guess that means that people appreciated it. So here it is, called Again and Again. It happens again and again when we all act like strangers in our faraway, strange lands. Heinlein had it right. The need for love is so great. It is this time of orange violence, no matter whether in Ukraine or Gaza or Yemen or the Congo or even Myanmar. From the mountains, we armed apes descend with our instruments of war. It happens again and again and again, starting all over. Agni calls us to burn that away and replace with the spark, the concord of creation. So peace resumes being spelled in capitals. We come with our cultural animosities, stupidly dropping smart bombs where the children, otherwise innocent, watch the demolition of their familiar streets, once so loved, now filled with the debris. It happens again and again and again, starting all over, coming through the eons when we should remember to be present to a warm, sunny day, nurturing our lives and loves. When people stop remembering, if even for only a gray minute, just so absent the memory that megalomaniacs are from darkness. Likewise, forgetting that good, clear light must prevail over the presence of evil's blackness. It happens again and again and again, starting all over as if never having understood, hiding from the lush jungle of history's dusty pages, instead of learning from them that peace comes from within and then warmly spreads. It can happen again and again and yet again. Thank you. This next piece is new. Written about 2.5, 3 weeks ago. I haven't submitted it for publication yet, but I will. It's called Dream of the Woods. Eyes open, careful treading, wondering about while wandering about, walking through the woods with no apparent destination, not off towards the horizon or away from the dawn, just someplace between living and dying. Brown-barked tree trunks, like those of mighty, tall pines. There's the green leaves, though not of a pine, more like those of a poplar or a pin oak. In full summer growth, the tramped yellow grass on the path before me where I walk barefoot. Rounding a gentle curve in betwixt taller grasses, a peacefulness here, with happy bird chatter, settling on my ears like a warm greeting amongst friends, into a clearing in these thick woods, a space opening up like creation, fresh as a new birth, building in intensity like a poem developing. There in the middle, a 10-foot tall mirror with gold gilded frame all around, resting on a newly cut dais of fresh logs, the dominant character in this glade full of life. Could have been a passageway, perhaps a setting off into some place like Valhalla or Elysium, even heaven, but it was not that. No pot of gold at the end of the rainbow here, a mirror that has shone, dapper, enticing in sunlight, reflecting that what was before it. The vision of features and characters of the sentient standing, and pain. The water washes, coursing down the reflection in rivulets. Thank you. This next piece is originally published by the Sindh Courier in Pakistan. It is, however, a piece about America. It is a piece that I wrote while encamped in the wilderness in Idaho, the American state of Idaho. In the American state of Idaho is one of the largest stretches of wilderness in the southern United States, 2.3 million acres. And there's a river that winds its way through it called the Salmon River, but it's also known as the River of No Return. So this is a piece written there, and it's called In a Grove by the Salmon River. Somewhere on this river, what is left today is a sacred spot with water energy. The Shoshone lived on this river long before Lewis or Clark or even 1805. I stand here now in this silent grove, tall pine trees standing watch as the river flows by, likely as it did those many years before. I see things that are not there, wisps in the glen, gray mist drifting, a feeling of the past gurgling over the rapids flowing by. A wisp of mist swirls, turning into an old man, a Native American. He speaks to me in a language I do not understand, holding my hands open, shrugging shoulders to show I cannot comprehend. The old Shoshone man walks up to me, looks directly in my eyes. Looking back unflinchingly, I see there's a depth there in his eyes. I wonder, did he hide his affection or win or lose something in his life? Not so very different from mine. Our eye communication ends with his speaking accented English this time. You are standing on my son's grave. I move to the left a pace or two. Now you are standing on my daughter's. This entire grove is burial ground for my people. See that pine by the river? That's where my body lies. I don't need it anymore. Again, looking in my eyes, there, down by the riverbank, is a good place to sit and talk. You won't be walking on my family there. Going over to where the river roared by, seeing the faces behind his face. There were at least 30 faces there, each one a bit smaller than the preceding, till it faded away. My people don't hide their love. Your people are like wheels turning round and round, sometimes going nowhere, fewer times getting where you have the desire to go. I looked at this man from so long ago, offered him a smoke from my pipe. He said, just blow it through me. Laughing at the folly, I asked this man about the failings of his people. His response, men don't understand women in the tribe. We honor them and we try to find a way. In this, I realized we were very much alike. He arose, another one of those long looks. We were eye to eye again, a moment that seemed long, however, likely lasted seconds. Turning, my new friend walked into the river and was gone. Reflecting on this strange occurrence, did the old Shoshone man have to shake it up, or perhaps even make it up to really have a closeness with the women of his time? Certainly, in my times now, there is a secret world everyone has inside. Thank you. My next piece is going to be found in the manuscript I have on a publisher's desk right now in a book called Where We Find Animals. And the title of this one is called Hearing Canis Lupus. Walking barefoot, shirtless, traversing the many ancient roads built long ago. Something is dusty, feeling the breezes dancing, listening to different distant cultures, gaining new perspective by just seeing the yellow pages of antiquity. Wishing to hear no modern raucous cities, wanting to hear the far-off howl, that richness of timbre that captures our beating heart. Now, running up in the brown and gray cobbles of the Appian Way, refreshing from a drink sipped off the leaked waterfall from an aqueduct. It there is the love from the women and men out of the before, what touches our souls and warms our synapses. Climbing now the switchbacks of the South Mountain, topping the 40-foot waterfall there, standing on the worn mountains of the Blue Ridge that have gladly given their quartz crags up for their love of the sky's riotous changes. Even so, towns of humans with little impact on this moment. No traffic lights interfering, red, yellow, green. Watching the oncoming race of wispy white clouds from the west, when peering through the green leaves atop Albert Mountain. The wolves sing about love in their marvelous way. We listen when we can but hear. Thank you. These next two pieces that I'm going to read are found in my last book, which I brought out in December of last year. The book is called The Impromptu. All of my books are available on Amazon or directly from me if you want a signed copy. And I encourage you to go look for them if you find the poetry pleasing to your ears. The Impromptu book is about both the happy love and the sadnesses of love, and it's about music. And this is a piece called Distance. There's a line way over there in the hinterlands where his stubbornness awaits. This woman is in a courtyard, dipping her hands in the water of a pool, scooping a double handful out. Leaking, the drips between her fingers are many, leaving ripples in the pond. Concentric circles are moving outward. Breathing in her dark-haired beauty, breathing in what she is doing, he understands from whence they came. The surface of the pool has tension, forming a pattern seam. The ripples travel ever diminishing further and further out. They dissipate into the calm water, hence. I'm way over there seems closer, yet his stubbornness awaits still, putting meaning to the actions of the water. Standing beside her now, smitten as he was, they talk only with their eyes. So much to say. A breeze now ruffles the gossamer silver gown. It billows gently, moving, shimmering on her. There's a finality to her eyes, as if there needs to be less of something. His eyes are open for hope, for play, for joy, for standing together. They speak without words, standing in front of the pool. The line way over there is much less defined now. His perseverance waits in quietude and action. He stands with new strength, shoulders muscular, arms vital, legs like a Roman centurion's. He knows his survival from the battles he has won. His only preparation for this next endeavor. He dips water from the pool, offers it to her. She hesitates. His offering is slowly dripping out of his cupped hands. She touches his fingers with hers, outstretched. 3 drops fall on them. Fingers now raised to her lips, tastes of the wetness of his essence. Their eyes still are locked, luminous, longing now showing. Her horizon knows that he is her prince. His perseverance knew that she is his queen. They stand together on the marble steps, waving to the crowds. Thank you. This next piece is also from the book, The Impromptu, and it is about some of the sadnesses of love. And it's called The Two. The two of them can't help it. She reaches out. He stands too far away. The two of them just can't help it. She stands in the moonlight, wonders about him. What is he doing tonight? The two of them can't seem to help it. He walks in the creative sunshine, thinks of her as the sun warms his face. Oh, yeah, the two of them are living alone. They are walking the walk of their separate ways. It needn't be. Blue eyes could be looking into brown ones. Oh, yes, the two live their lives alone. Reckon it's not the best for easier, not the easiest. Their dogs are not the dogs of war. They are the best companions. Oh, yes, living alone is the choice they've made. Even so, he wishes for her in the starlight, desires her closeness in the dark. They could have different. She wishes that there was not the withhold, desires his warmth when it's cold at night. They could have much different. He has placed his independence above his wanting her softness and her quick wit near. They could be together. She has to be free to walk with him by her choice. One peak of the nearby mountains is higher than the others. The lithic path is blind to what is within reach. There is nothing that stands between love and you. Thank you. I have some new work for you here. This is on a publisher's desk for consideration in a literary magazine. And it's called Stories from the Before. There are a great many warriors, and the tales about them are about the steel. The shiny metal dragons flying, separating the wood. Gray metal whales cleaving the sea. Those steel rhinos dissevering the enemy. There are a great many renditions about the brave, who once, having been fearful, became fearless, facing enemies with found courage. My father was one of them. He flew steel dragons dropping from the sky, inside God's bubble, making the ground shake, and those on it afraid of the fire from the sky. 3 great conflicts did he fly the steel dragons, girdling his loincloth to be ready for the fight, carrying the fire to his enemies. There are many accounts of dropping out of the clouds, silently falling earthwards, bringing terror to those bound to the ground, the hordes of Mongols dissolved. I have his blood in me, being of the warrior clan. Courage flows in my arteries. Resilience courses in my veins because of that. It is a joy to know this part of me. Because of that, I can look the bear in the eye. And if I should die from it, that will be a good death. I will join the others from the before, swiftly when that occurs. The shared blood draws it nigh. My Father waits for me there. We will see each other again and tell our stories of the earth. Thank you. This next piece is also new, and it has to do with the Iraq War. It's called The Straw Hat with Flowers. It is a hot day in Iraq's summer. Navia province. ISIS is driven from the landscape now. Browns, all the possible different shades of it, belie the brokenness which is everywhere. Big holes in the native brown dirt, dust covers all. The broken light, brown buildings and homes. Demolition cord has loose, dark, and black wires. Fired house bricks lay in smashed tan brown heaps. The Yazidi are rebuilding, somehow in this new dawn. The daily terror is over now. The truly talented psychopaths of ISIS are gone. Left behind are everyday items like a teapot or a computer game controller stuffed with explosives by ISIS. Also, artillery shells are wired to blow. Now, all need the work of removal. Losing goat herds to mines is bad. Having a child killed by an ISIS mine while playing in their backyard is worse. There's a 5-woman crew clearing them today. They all wear khaki brown uniforms, patches with red letters, beyond courageous in moving into a minefield. Annoying beeping and screeching coming from a long green handle held of a government-issued metal detector. The sweepers notice the danger. No dreaming there. One has on a feminine straw hat and gold earrings while she is in the minefield. These are her personal colors, flying in the face of murderers. Her hat has a big dark blue flower sewn to it. Every mine she removes is one more strike against them. In her evening, she dreams of a fresh peace for her people, for tomorrow's new day. Thank you. I have a poet hero. Briefly mentioned him earlier. His name's N. Scott Momaday. He was a Kiowa, an American Indian, a Native American, First Nation kind of person. I greatly admire his writing. He was the first Native American to win the Nobel Prize here in the United States. Pulitzer Prize, excuse me. And I love his writing. So this piece is sort of in his style, but I don't pretend to be the master he was. It's called The Sacred Places. They are forever altered. And visiting them, we are altered, as the voices of those grounds speak louder than any rock band like The Who. It is the stories of our existence, of those that preceded us and mattered, ranging far beyond any one culture, a sanctified parcel strong enough to hold all our feet together with those that came before. The facets of our thousand cultures is the duty poets have to speak to. For those few seekers live in the places most do not. A place reverently constructed to become the stony reminders of the great deeds mankind is able to do. A place to remember the sky flyers, whose bones lay beneath the ground now, while their spirits live on within us. We have had that combat, whether it be of blood or outcome or not. All of us have raised mausoleums from the earth to commemorate the building for the lost, the inspired, those that tower above the ground and draw us nigh, buttressed to feel. In the taking to our conscious thoughts, our souls grow because of the many blue depths there, reaching back into the stories, telling the holdings our red hearts have. There are many of us that need to hear those colors, to be in the place of no one speaking, in the awe of it. The falcon and the deer are of the earth, even as we are, and we always return to it. Thank you. This next piece is a piece that I wrote for a new friend of mine in India, Dr. Janantha Ramanathan. I wrote it for her book, Purple Dreams, which is out now this month, I think, where she speaks to women's rights. And it's entitled Resolutions. Speaking to a desire for the betterment of our world, one where all of the humans carry the weight of the water equally, where the walking down the streets of our lives is hand in hand, not striding one behind the other. Waterfalls on the planet mix everything in a many hued splash. Gray clouds of disparate conduct make way for the sunshine. Thank you. And I'm going to end this piece, this presentation, with a poem called Water Music. And I'm going to also, before we end, say thank you very much for attending and thank you for listening to my work. And if you like my work, support my work by buying my books and support Prasanna Kumar in his endeavor to bring poetry to the world. I have to say that Prasanna Kumar's efforts are admirable and appreciated. So the last piece is called Water Music. Clear creek flows cold, even in the summer sun, this on a high bank where my meditation is complete. And the connection is made with the water's energy. The sun warms as the music from the creek jingles in eardrums, calling, inviting. The water calls in inaudible words, notes, and harmonies to immerse in it this July morning. Stripping down to wade in and bathe, first few careful steps into fast-moving rivulets, then in deeper and deeper still, until at the waist a noticeable connection, a new appreciation of the cold. It's unmistakable. Total immersion now, head and hair wet, up now with water dripping off, then dipping head in again, nostrils flared with shock cold, those drips from the nose that are never needing antihistamines. A flick of the wrist sends small, clear drops outward. Up on the bank in the sun now, a refuge into the air, sitting on a t-shirt, drying cross-legged in father-son. And reflecting that George Handel's Water Music had no context here on this sunny day in Colorado, where his composition for King George in 1717, played on the banks of the Thames, didn't include a bath. Thank you very much, everyone. I appreciate your listening to my work, and I hope everyone does well in their life. I wish you the best.